From the Ellen Media Worldwide Headquarters Studios high atop 2 Turtle Creek, this is Deconstructing Dallas. Greetings, everyone. This is your host, Ryan Trimble, joined again today, as always, by the Hamilton-loving Shawn Williams. Shawn, good day, sir.
Good day. I am not throwing away my shot, just in case you were wondering. I want to start and lead off with that. I think we'll talk a little bit later about Hamilton. We went to go see the show last night at the Music Hall at Fair Park. Obviously an awesome show. I know 99% of the words to all the songs. Me and Ramel Mitchell, one of our clients, who is also a big fan, who also knows so
all
many
the
of these songs, so many lyrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I know I was at the show last night, but you were watching the other big show in town. You had an opportunity to watch on your TV,
yes,
to watch Dirk's retirement, his last game, and them letting the cat out of the bag on the retirement and all the festivities that ensued.
Yeah, it's a big day, big night last night in Dallas at the American Airlines Center. The greatest Maverick, Dirk Nowitzki, has played his last game in the building. He will be retiring, I guess, after tonight's game in San Antonio.
After the San Antonio game, yeah. This was the worst kept secret in the NBA. I think he never would say that this was it, but I think everybody knew. And the Mavericks would have been.
Night,
yeah, he said it last night, and the Mavericks would not have been marketing if they hadn't had an idea. I think the way that their 41-21-1 marketing campaign had gone, but it was a really cool night. I got to see a lot of the highlights that came back in. Obviously, Jamal Crawford tried to throw a monkey wrench into the whole situation.
Yeah, Dirk goes for 30, but Jamal Crawford, who's been in the league 19 years, goes for 51. He was unconscious there for a little while in the third and fourth quarters,
and became the oldest player to ever score 50 points in an NBA game.
That's right. The career leader in 4-point plays goes for 51. And it's funny, Shawn, my oldest friend in the world, Cody Toppert, he is actually a coach on the Suns bench, an assistant coach, and I got to grab coffee with him yesterday, and he was telling the young lady at the counter, yeah, we're going to ruin Dirk's night tonight. We're really going to try. And usually people, when they say that, when they're coaching a team like the Suns, who have not had a great year, they may be saying that in jest. Not my friend. He and Jamal Crawford were clearly out to ruin Dirk's night last night and steal his thunder and actually steal the game from him.
I think it made it better to have a competitive game. It'll make it more memorable. You don't want to go see a game of horse or 21 going on. Kobe, I believe in his last game, he scored 60 and just was launching shots
like
from
an
every
all-star
angle.
Game.
Yeah, but it was good. Dirk got a dunk out of the game last night.
5 threes.
Had hit 5 threes. I think it was a memorable night. It was good seeing Dirk get choked up, and it was great seeing his heroes come back to honor him. That was really cool.
Man, that was a really cool part. After the game, they have the ceremony, and they have a montage of Dirk talking about his basketball on-the-court heroes, who include Charles Barkley, Larry Bird, Shawn Kemp, Scottie Pippen, and, of course, Detlef Schrempf.
Yeah, and, Dirk is a little bit younger. He's kind of in between the two of us as far as age goes. And so, a lot of those guys were guys I also enjoyed watching play. I remember when the Mavericks brought Detlef Schrempf into the league, and it was such an anomaly to have a German-born player come in and play the kind of game he played, which really laid the groundwork for a Dirk Nowitzki to come in and light the league on fire. And, Shawn Kemp back in the day, man, the dunks that he did was crazy.
Raw power, for sure. But, yeah, Shawn, Dirk, there will literally never be another one like him. And they were saying on the broadcast last night, Mark Followill, the great Mark Followill, was saying, there's a lot of great Lakers. There's, obviously a lot of great Chicago Bulls. There's a lot of teams, even the Spurs, Tim Duncan, all that he's done. There are a lot of Spurs that predate him that were great. But, man, in Dallas, it's Dirk. He's played in nearly 50% of the team's games over 21 years. And so to change the game, to be a 7-footer like that, to be able to hit shots, a European-born player, nobody's ever done it like him. He's taken the game globally, and it's all from right here in Dallas, right down the street.
I was thinking that Dirk and I got to Dallas right about the same time. My first year in Dallas was 97, coming out of college. And I remember us being a group of guys. We worked at IBM, and there were a lot of Michigan transplants at the IBM call center back in 1997. And so there was this huge debate because the Mavericks drafted. It was a trade, I believe. I know the Mavericks ended up with tractor trailer,
great tractor trailer
from Michigan.
That's right.
And Dirk, and it was kind of like, man. It would have been nice to have had tractor trailer, get you a couple boards, some tough inside rebounding. I don't know about this German guy.
Little did you know.
And it took the second season. I believe he averaged about 17 points his second season, and then you could see it. The first season, it was hard to see, and you didn't have any comps. All you had was a deadlift shrimp, but you could not see someone like Dirk coming in changing the game. But you also had never seen a 7-footer who could shoot that, and he could dribble, he could move, and so it did not take long for Dirk to win fans over. And then once he got together with Michael Finley, Steve Nash, that totally, because again, you cannot imagine as tough as it's been basketball wise over the last few years. It was terrible. Basketball here was terrible before those guys got here going.
Yeah, it's I found myself getting a little emotional too last night. Me moving to Dallas in 2000, the fall of 2001. He was a little before that, but even that year before I was moving here, I remember them being in the playoffs and watching them play, and lighting up the scoreboard and playing that fun and gun, and it was crazy. And so I remember that. I remember cheering in 06 and just what a fun ride that was until the crushing defeat and going to my first NBA Finals to see Shaq play in the finals against them, and then the comeback when they come back in 2011 and actually defeat Miami.
Yeah, 2006.
Which is still amazing to me.
2006. I'll never forget because it's going from the highest of highs to when they were up in the third quarter, about to take a 3-0 lead in that series, to then losing that series 4-2. And it's like in basketball, really in any sport, like if you have the opportunity, you need to seize it. You never know if you'll have a chance to go back. And I didn't think that after 07, it didn't really seem like the Mavericks would go back. But to get them back in the championship in 2011, and I heard some folks talking about Dirk on Sports Talk yesterday, and I think Dirk would be the first person to say he had a collection of really great players with him, like Jet Terry. Like there's not enough like Jet talk, because those were the guys. I mean, Dirk was the lead player, but then Terry was kind of the attitude of the team.
Got the Larry O'Brien tattooed on the bicep
before the season. You know what I'm saying? So I think he played with a lot of great guys that helped bring that championship. But he on the court in that 2011 series, especially in the finals, through the whole playoffs, but especially in the finals, because Peja had a great series against the Lakers. I mean, but in the finals, it was Dirk.
Yep.
He led the way. He took the ball to the basket. He shot threes, and he's the reason why we have a basketball championship here.
Yeah, he was amazing. 6 all-time leading scorer in the NBA. Lots of great memories, and off the court, all his work that you can go back and read some of the stories about his work at the Children's Hospital here in town, and through his charities and his charitable work. I mean, the guy is truly one of the most amazing figures to come through this city, and so thank you, Dirk, for the memories.
And kudos to Dirk. And Dirk, I will, on behalf of Deconstructing Dallas, offer you this platform if you would like to come on and talk any more about your retirement, your career. We will save a seat for you at any point in time. Just send us a tweet, or however you want to do that. You can have your folks call our folks. That's whatever. Right. It's fine. I want to make sure that we let everybody know that we've got a really special guest today, because he's a friend of both of ours, another SMU alum, which is becoming a regular thing on our show.
Right.
But we've got Matt Houston with us today. He's the principal of MLH Enterprises. He's a lecturer at UNT Dallas. He's the interim president of the Dallas Black Chamber. He's the guy who does it all.
He does. I got to know Matt. I remember when he was first got to SMU, and he was selected as a member of the Mustang 11, one of the most spirited students in his class, Shawn. I think I got that right. But
Whoopee.
Yes. Very spirited.
You see how excited I am
Hail to the
that.
red and the blue, Shawn.
I'm so excited about
that. Exciting times to hear Matt come on the show. He's a good man, and glad he got some time here in the booth.
Yeah, and this is one that I did solo, so you'll be hearing just about with everybody
Apologies to everybody for
you were working.
We had some client work come up, and so when duty calls, you got to go. And so apologies to Matt.
Hot client work, and so hopefully it's simmered down. I'm hoping.
Me too.
Well, we will be right back after this. This is Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. Stay with us.
Got a stroke? Call 911 fast. For more, go to strokeassociation.org.
We are back, Deconstructing Dallas. Shawn Williams, Ryan Trimble. We are very fortunate to have a Renaissance man. I think is just kind of an understatement almost, but a really good friend of our show, a really good friend of both of ours, and another SMU alum. Today we have with us the principal of MLH Enterprises. He is a lecturer in business management at UNT Dallas School of Business. He is also the interim president of the Dallas Black Chamber of Commerce. We have with us today Mr. Matt Houston. Matt, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me to Deconstructing Dallas. This is an amazing podcast that you and Ryan have been doing, and I'm a listener, and I'm honored to be a part of this episode.
We appreciate that. And then you have basically a Facebook show yourself where you have an opportunity, you and Harrison Blair, to do some interaction in a very similar way.
Definitely. We have a Facebook page called The Porch with Harrison Blair and Matt Houston. We film every Tuesday evenings around 9 p.m. on Facebook Live. And we are really just discussing culture. We discuss needs from the African-American male perspective, family, education, and things that really are relevant to society from our lens, so that we can get the community conversing and discussing how we can make things better for our society.
And Matt, I went through, a lengthy list of things that you are currently doing, which doesn't really even...
The one thing that you shouldn't say, I don't sleep. So
yeah, that's what I was about to say. Yeah, I mean, because this is just a small sample of all the things that you do. But I know you're really into entrepreneurship and teaching that trade. You mentor in that area. But can you talk to me about MLH Enterprises, an organization that you founded, and kind of a little bit about what you do with your company?
Well, I'm a serial entrepreneur from generations of entrepreneurs on my father's side and mother's side. About 4 generations of people who've started their own businesses from the small town of Taylor, Texas, with my great-grandfather owning the grocery store, the pool hall, and my great-grandmother managing those facilities, and ensuring my father literally sells soda bottles outside of the grade school before graduating and attending Prairie View, to my grandfather on my mother's side owning the country store in the town of Doak Springs in Lee County, Texas, near Giddings. I've always had this passion for business ownership. And MLH Enterprises was started in 2013 so that I can focus on education, leadership, and economic development for people.